Hello all, we will wait just a minute for everyone to get connected and we will get started shortly. Alrighty, let's get started all. Hello all and welcome back to our Revize application series. Today we will be going over our newsletter application and touching on the overall use and functionality of the system. To begin with, as always, some housekeeping. A recorded version of the webinar will be available on our website, www.revize.com, afterwards if you miss any crucial details or if you are looking to rewatch the app mini-series. We do ask that you hold all questions until after the webinar, as there will be a designated time to ask questions and answers afterwards. We also do ask that you follow us on social media channels to keep updated with upcoming webinar times and dates. We are active on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. A little bit about us. We've been around for over 20 years and have developed a very unique and diverse team. We specialize in beautiful and functional web design for government agencies. We are based out of Troy, Michigan, but we do serve government entities all across the nation. Revize builds custom tailored websites for all government agencies. Using the Revize Content Management System, or our CMS, our clients can easily update their website in real time with just a few clicks. On top of that, our suite of web applications are designed specifically for governments, whether it's our public service request app, agenda builder, or in this case, our newsletter application. Our web apps help your government function more efficiently. In addition, we build websites that are unique to each client, and that includes 100% custom design from scratch and a project plan that fits your schedule. Throughout the entire development process and after, our team will be there with the knowledge and experience and support that you deserve. We are the government website experts. I will be your host today. I am the marketing specialist here at Revize. My name is Kathleen McGee, and I am excited to go over a brief demonstration on our newsletter application. With that being said, let's get started. So what I will be going over today in this brief demonstration is our overall functionality of the system, as I mentioned prior, kind of just a start to finish of what it has to offer and just a basis of where you can get started with your government entity in using this newsletter application. So that being said, the core of the newsletter app will be the dashboard. From there, you can navigate your way through the application. With the newsletter mailing, administration, and at-a-glance function, you'll be able to locate the entire system on the home page of the newsletter application. From there, you can then manage your newsletters. All previously sent newsletters that have been designed will be archived for you to refer back to and pull from if you want to create a new letter, which then will bring us to our next step of adding and designing the actual newsletters with ease. When all is said and done, you will then be able to simply send off your email to your desired contacts. Now, let's take a peek of what that actually looks like in my brief demo. Thank you for staying tuned. Let me switch over to our next service. Now I will be showing you our newsletter application. Right here is our dashboard, and let's just dive right into it. So as I mentioned, the dashboard is pretty much the entire core of the service. So you can go ahead and here you have our newsletters, mailing, which underneath you can manage your mailing list and send emails. This is a very important column in the newsletter application, and as well as administration, more of file management and how to manage the particular users and groups and senders. Today, before we get started with the design and creation aspect of the emails, you want to make sure that your mailing lists have been previously managed. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the mailing list function. And here for Revize, for our purposes, we have already imported all lists that we use for, say, customers or prospects. If you have not already done so in your government entity or are looking to do so, you can go ahead and simply click this red button, add a mailing list, and label a specific group name, and then go on over to manage emails and import a list from the import list button, or you can also add each email manually if that would be easier for you to do. When all is said and done and you are done importing said contacts, you can then go ahead and save the list. For my purposes, all lists are saved, so I will just kind of give you a show of what would happen. And then we'll go ahead and exit out here because, as I said, we have all of our lists already so far. So make sure that your lists are intact before creating any sort of emails because it is all intertwined. And the first step to the creation is making sure your mailing list is intact. All right, moving forward, we will then go back to our dashboard where I can show you the management and the creation of the actual newsletter. So here in this part, we can go ahead and click on Manage Newsletters, where we then are able to create new newsletters. I have an archive of our March newsletter and our new webinar alert, as well as an April test newsletter. I'm just going to click on this to show you guys what we will create today. So here is the design of the email that I have, and I will show you in the preview of what that entails. So in here, we have added an image, we have added text, as well as another image and a button and a link that links to our actual webinar page. So we'll be going over kind of the basics, and what you choose to do with your government entity may be completely different, but this is just some sort of an example for you guys to be familiar with the system and how easy it is to utilize. So that being said, we can go ahead and start from scratch. This is what we will create, but I just kind of wanted to show you the after and then the process of how we got there. So let's head back to, we always save our newsletter, so we'll save that. And we'll head back to add newsletter where we can then create from scratch our product. So go ahead and add newsletter here. You can label it as you please. In this example, I'm going to label it April test newsletter 2. And we're going to assign it to the test group for this particular demonstration. We'll go ahead and save. And there we have it. We have our April test 2 letter and it shows up right here. And moving from there, we can then go ahead and click the design button and get started. So basically, now that we're in the core of the creation of the letter, everything will be created from the elements panel here on the left. The elements panel is crucial for all creation. Then you will need to take this paragraph element and to insert logos, insert images, insert actual text, or even a media video, you will need the paragraph element to do so. All work will be done on the side of the paragraph, divider, and column. All of these elements will be able to create your final product. As far as formatting goes, this toolbar that pops up when the paragraph element is used will also be imperative for your design aspect. So let's get started. Let's say that your government entity is looking to add their logo or their crest at the top of their alert or newsletter. We can go ahead and delete the paragraph function here and insert an image. So we're going to delete that text and we're going to go ahead and insert and then go to image. Now here we can go ahead and with the source of the image, we can click this up arrow and it'll open up previously chosen logos or images that I have used in the past. It will save all images, templates, oh, you name it, will be in here. If you have not already done so, you can go ahead and upload from the outside source of your computer and choose from your Dropbox or your downloads or your photos. But in this instance, we already have our Revize logo sitting right here. So go ahead and accept that and choose that for the file. We will then label this Revize logo and paste it right on the top of our page. Moving forward, we can then decide to format it. Let's say we don't really like it to the left. We might want it to center it. Or let's say we think it's a little bit too big. Let's go ahead and drag with the corner of the image to a smaller size, to a more desirable, appealing size. And there you have it. You have a nice size logo at the top of your page. And your logo may look a little bit different, but this is just some demonstration to show you what you can do in this system. We will then go ahead and let's say we want to add some more elements to it. Let's say we are going to add some information, but we want it divided. We don't want it right underneath the logo. We can then take our trusty divider tool, click and drag that divider tool all the way underneath. And if we take a look at the preview, it starts to give you that clean, professional appeal to your email. And you're able to get started with some more content. You're able to add images, you're able to add a paragraph of text to alert your, government entity of maybe there's a power outage or some sorts of that, and you need to get out a quick email. It's pretty much all right at the tip of your fingers and can be easily then laid out moving forward. So we already have our logo at the top of our page. Let's say that we want to then add a photograph, or in this instance, we might want to add an image having to do with the webinar. So we can go ahead and I can go ahead and I'll show you an example of how, if your image is already not uploaded on your recently used, how you can grab an image and get it on your page. We'll go ahead and go to Insert Image. We'll go to Source. We will then click the up arrow here, choose a file, and then we will go to previously used photos, and we'll use this particular newsletter application webinar photo in this instance, just as an example. And then we'll go and we'll look and find that it should be somewhere recently that you have used the image. It should pop up right underneath. And if that is not the case, sometimes it's a little bit touchy, and you can go ahead and just kind of look around, because it will show you a preview of your image. And here we have it right here. It's at the top. It has kind of a silly name, so it can be hard at times to be misplaced. So we'll go ahead and accept that, and we will label it Revize Webinar. We'll paste that in there, and there you have it. You have your image pasted on the screen. Now this looks a little bit large to me. So as done before, we can go ahead and click and drag and make that a little bit smaller, but we don't like it to the side. We kind of want it in the middle. So we can go ahead and center that to the middle and maybe make it a little bit bigger, and just kind of what you please as your own design. You can kind of take it with your own eye and go from there. Moving forward, we say you want to add some simple text. We'll then add and drag the paragraph element, and we'll get it underneath here. And we'll have a nice paragraph element to then add some text. Let's say we want to say new webinar coming soon. We can then go ahead and, it's a little small, so we can go ahead and format that text. Let's say we want to make it size 18 and center it and bold it and italicize. And if we want to really get crazy, we can go ahead and go into format and change the text color. Let's say we want to make it purple for Revize. Wow, that looks pretty. So then we can go ahead and have this image, but we kind of wanted to adjust the text. You can go ahead, and if you want to move any of your elements, you can do so by clicking and dragging on this arrow. Say we want the text below the webinar image, or say we want it above, we can go ahead and simply click and drag. It's a very nice feature to have so much flexibility on the design aspect when creating newsletters. So far it's coming along, and we can take a little look in our preview page, and it's looking like a good email and something that you would be proud to send out to potential clients or anyone in your government entity. Moving forward, say we then want to, and this is the final part, we so far have gone over adding images, adding a logo, adjusting size, formatting, adding text. The last element that I do want to touch on is how you can insert and link a button to a separate page of information. Say you want your government website hooked onto your email. You can do so by doing the following, and I will start with that demonstration. So we'll start by clicking and dragging our paragraph element, and then we're going to get it all the way down to the bottom here. And let's say we want the button to link to past webinars that we have created. In this example, I'm just going to write webinar, and then I'm going to go ahead and highlight the button and go to insert, where I can then insert this text and insert a button over it. So we're going to click on the button element. And from there, we can go ahead and put in some margins. Let's just say we're going to call the margins 2, so it's nice and even. We're going to put in a color, and we want purple for Revize because that's our colors. Your colors may be different. We're then going to go ahead and select a grow radius, so it has more of a shape to the button and it's a little more appealing. With a border style, a grow border style with a border radius of 5 will be your winning number. Then we can go ahead and save, and there you have it. You have a nice button. You have a button that you can then again format. Let's say we want the text color to be white, so it shows out a little more. There you have it. There you have created a button, but we're not done just yet. This part gets somewhat tricky, but it's easy once you get the hang of it. So to add a link to the button, you're going to go ahead and you're going to highlight the webinar text, and you're going to again go to insert and link. You're then going to go and let's grab our link from another site. So we're going to go to our own Revize site where we can access our latest webinars. I'm going to get this link. I'm going to copy and paste, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go right back into our newsletter service where I can then copy and paste that link in there, and it'll take us directly to our webinar page. There we can go ahead and either have the option to open that link into the current window that we're in or into a new window. I like to do a new window so then you can go back to the content of the email that you were previously looking at. So we can go ahead and save there. Now, just to test this function, we will go ahead and go into the preview source again, and we will preview the email that we have constructed so far. Now, this is just kind of a brief demo example, and you can do so much more, but I just wanted to touch on some important aspects of this function and application. So just to test, we can go ahead and click on here, and lo and behold, it takes us right to our latest webinars. It's a very helpful function and great to use when marketing and getting information out to your local governments and any sort of entity that you may be trying to reach. So that being said, the email, let's go ahead and save it. And I will show you now that we have saved this letter, how we can then proceed to send it off. So now that we have touched on the basics of constructing images, text, and adding a button with a link, We can then go ahead and send our newsletter off. We're going to head back to the dashboard where we can go to send emails, and the magic will happen. I'm going to choose April test newsletter 2, which is what we just constructed together, and I'm going to send it to the test group. You can then choose who it'll come from. I'm going to just choose contact at Revize because that's usually what we use for our marketing. And that being said, we will be able to send it right off, as simple as that, and we are good to go. The email has been sent off and it will be received shortly. And that is basically from start to finish a quick and brief demonstration on how to utilize our system from the mailing list to the creation and to the sending. So with that being said, I'm going to switch back to our presentation and we'll have some time open for questions that you may have. So thank you so much for staying tuned, and we will get back to questions. So now would be a great time. If you have any questions, feel free to text in the Q&A portal, and I will be able to answer the questions to the best of my ability. And if not, I can get a team member to answer any sort of questions that you may have. I received a question. Does the application provide any analytics, number of emails opened, etc.? Yes, we do have an analytic section of our email application that you can go to that takes a little bit deeper of a deeper look at what emails were sent and what emails were opened, and will give you a better idea of how to answer those particular emails and who to send the crowd out to. Does the email list automatically kick out duplicate email addresses? Yes, I believe that it does do that. It does filter through duplicate email addresses, especially if you're importing the list from an outside source of contact that you already have. Let me see. Is this an add-on? I believe, yes, this is an add-on feature to our Revize website design process. And yes, you will receive a notification if the email is undeliverable to your potential client or sender. You will be able to get in there and remove that email if it is someone that hasn't already changed an email, or if someone has changed over with a job, you will be able to access the email that has been sent back to you stating that. I believe the file format used to import context is a CSV, or I'm sorry, is a CVS contact importation. And that will conclude our questions for today. Any unanswered questions will be reached out. You will be reached out to separately to answer any questions regarding pricing and that of sorts of the app. So I thank you all for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you for tuning in to our Revise app mini series.